Doug from unSkript here, and we've been building many runbooks on how to optimize cost in your cloud. And this runbook is no different. This is one that is going to change our elastic block store volumes from older GP2 types to the newer GP3. The newer GP3 volumes are faster and actually less expensive. AWS says you can save as much as 20% if you optimize for size and all of these things. In this example, we're just going to strictly do the upgrade, which from what I've seen is about a 7 to 10% savings, just running script. So it's totally worth doing. So let's actually start from the beginning rather than starting with a runbook. Let's actually begin from importing this runbook into your account. So here I am. I'm in the unSkript SaaS, and I'm on the X RunBooks page, and you can see I've done a search for this. But let's just come over here to the list of unSkript X RunBooks, and we're just going to look for GP3 because that's one of the keywords that we know is going to be here, right? So this is the runbook for changing the EBS volume to GP3. All right, so let's import that into our account. And we're going to select a proxy. I'm going to do it on staging. And then I'm going to create this runbook. And you can see here it is. It was created on June 1st at 3:34, which is the time it is right now. All right, let's go in and run this runbook. So we're going to go in and open the details. I don't want to do the environment selection, so we're just going to turn that off, and we'll go straight into the editor. And now we can start. We can do an interactive run of this runbook and find all of our older generation EBS volumes and upgrade them to a GP3. So the runbook has loaded, and you can see the internal script has run. Let's look at the input parameters. The input parameters is you can specify an EBS volume and a region if you know exactly which one you want to upgrade to GP3. But if you don't, the runbook will take care of this for you. So let's just walk through the steps. This first section is a description, and so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to get all of the volumes that are not a GP3, and then we're going to modify them to GP3. So the first thing we're going to make sure, if somebody put an input, we want to make sure that they did it correctly. So this is just saying, if you gave me an instance, a volume, we also need the region, and if this will error out if it doesn't do it right. This will just pass. And now we're going to go through all of the regions, and we're going to get all of the EBS volumes that are not a GP3. So this is going to take a while because it has to go through all 27 regions. So we'll hit run, pause the video, and then we'll come back. Okay, so this action has now run, and it came back as false. This is a check. So it's saying, are there some that are not GP3 type? This said, yes, there are some that are not. And it lists the region and the volume ID, and then the volume type. And you can see we have a number of GP2 volumes. It looks like they're all in US West 2. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to take this data here, and we're just going to do some data manipulation to make it in the format that we need to actually do the upgrade. So this is a connecting action that just finds all the non-GP3 volumes and formats it with the region, the volume ID that we need. We can even have it print the list when it's done. So let's just do that. You can see we have a list of regions and volume IDs, and the volume type is GP2. So now step 2 is we're going to take those volumes and we're going to update them to GP3. And so let's look at this action here. Let's go to the configuration. We need to add a credential, so we'll add my admin credentials. And then we'll see here that the inputs are grayed out, and that's because we're going to have to do some iteration. And the iteration is going to go through all of the different variables that we have. So let's look at these variables. So we're going to go through that list of all non-GP3 volumes, which is this list that we created here. And it's going to loop through. It's going to grab the region, and it's going to grab the volume ID from each one of these, right? So we have a region and a volume ID. And so we need the region and volume ID of each one of these to then send off to AWS to do the upgrade. So that's this action. So now when we run it, it's going to loop through that list of EBS volumes that we have, and then it's going to convert each one of them. So let's just run this action and go for it. And then it only took a couple seconds. You can see it went through 15 of them, and it is in the process of upgrading all of these GP2 instances, EBS instances to GP3. And we'll run this action again in a few minutes. When we run that first action to find any volumes that are not GP3, it should find none of them. So it's been about 3 minutes, and in that time I went and logged into our AWS console, and if we see in US West 2, all of our EBS volumes are now GP3. So the conversion has been done, and it was successful. So now let's go back to the runbook and rerun it, and we should find that there are no GP3, GP2 type EBS volumes. So we'll just come back up here to the top, and we're going to start from the beginning. And we can see that just like that, we no longer have the older, slightly more expensive GP2 elastic block store volumes. We only have the GP3. So this is a great runbook if you're looking just to update all of your old elastic block store volumes, and you need to upgrade them to GP3, and you don't want to do it manually. Just run this and you're done, and you'll be all set. Thanks for watching.